My name is Susie. Welcome to the Jellyfish Journals. And this video is going to be a little bit different than other videos I've done. And it also may be a little bit longer, although I'm still going to try to keep it around the 30-minute mark if I can. So I've had a few people ask me about my craft space, and I've had a few comments of people asking to see my craft space. And so I thought, let's do it. Let's take a little tour and I will show you my tiny little corner of the basement where I do all of my journaling and most of my crafting. And then hopefully it can give you a little inspiration if you're also working in a small space. And maybe it can help you realize that you don't need to have a massive craft room or a big craft table or any of that, or even a fancy setup to create, to make videos, or any of those things that you might be wanting to do, but you feel like limitations are holding you back. So let's go ahead and let's get started. All right. I do not have a tripod, so this might be a little bit shaky. So I hope nobody gets motion sickness, but I'm going to try to keep this nice and short. I wanted to show you that this space right here, that little nook, that's all I got. That is my crafting, journaling space. That's where I do all of the things that you see in my videos. And I wanted to show you that so that you can see you don't need a massive space. Really, the majority of what I have is a table. I have a cart that holds a little bit of my, or most of my stuff. And then I have a bookshelf right behind me. And I will also tell you, a lot of the stuff back here is not even mine. A lot of it belongs to my stepdaughter or one of my daughters or both of my daughters. And so if you really wanted, there are more than one of us in this little workspace here. So let's go ahead, let's take a closer look at what I've got going on back there, and hopefully I can make this a little less shaky for you. All right, sorry about the shaky thing. Apparently I wasn't quite done yet. So my desk and my chair, I got on Facebook Marketplace for, I think, $50. I think they're World Market. The table has a little pull-out thing on the side that I use sometimes if I need extra space. I think there's one on the other side, but obviously I can't get to that. I keep my computer here, both for editing videos, and I like to watch stuff while I'm filming or just while I'm working. I have a little tray here that I made at one of those paint pottery thingies. And I use it to kind of hold little doodads and scraps while I'm working. A little plant you might have seen in some videos. Sometimes I use the bottom of it. It's a nice size circle. A little charger. I keep a pencil sharpener nearby. This is actually a flower pot that, a good friend gave me that I decided to use as a cup holder. I like the bees on it. And I just keep some essentials in here. My cutting ruler, some pens, brushes, the things I use for ink. That's a jellyfish pen. I have students that buy me a lot of jellyfish pens. And then, of course, my bee scissors, which are my larger scissors. And then I have this cup of pens here. These are, I think they're Papermate Ink Joys. Let me see. I think so. Yeah. The gel pens, honest to goodness, I'm not a fan. I use these at church when I'm taking my church notes, and my stash has been slowly dwindling. I'm not thrilled with these. The ink does not consistently flow, and sometimes in the middle of taking sermon notes, my pen just stops working. It's very frustrating. And then this is my current journal, and it pretty much just lives on the desk here. Up here, we have this is my filming light. So I just pull it over and rotate this so that I can film. I was putting the camera over the lens. This lights up underneath, but I started getting comments that everything was too bright, and so now my camera comes off to the side, which means the light is always a little weird. If I keep doing this, maybe I'll level up. This was like $11 at Hobby Lobby. It's pretty shaky and wobbly, but I store it off to the side. I have this fear that it's going to start a fire, like when you magnify ants and you can like kill them. So I try to put it that way so there's no light that can magnify. I have a little Lego book lady here that came free with some purchase or something. Another little plant, and then I'm going to come around here a little bit. And this is just my jar of almost used up colored pencils. I like to color, and I save the little ends. And this is a little, I keep saying little. This is not really a calendar. There you go. It's 52 weeks of book quotes. And I think my best friend got this, at Pippi Post. So they might still have it there if you look there, but I don't change it every day. I just change it every so often and try to find like a happy quote that is inspirational. It is a basement, so it does not get a lot of direct light, which also affects the lighting down here. But the other thing is, on a gloomy day like this, it's especially dark. So this is where I sit. This is my view of my basement. There's my bookshelves. I love my bookshelves. And this is where I do all the work. Since I'm at the desk, I'll show you a couple more things before I hook this onto that clamp thingy. And then hopefully it doesn't shake so much. So hang in there. I hook my Archer and Olive creative case bag just on this chair here. It just hangs out just fine. It doesn't fall off or anything, and it's out of the way. And then I forgot, but this desk also has a drawer. And I think what I might do actually is I'm going to switch to the other thing so that we can look in the drawer and it won't be shaky. So hold on. All right. First of all, hello toes. I like my feet. Okay, I am going to go ahead and open up and show you what's inside my drawer. I'm going to sit down for this so it's not too awkward. So inside the drawer, I have these two bags from Rifle Paper Company that my best friend sent me, I think as a Christmas gift. And I'll show you what's in those in just a moment. I also keep down here, I haven't found a better way to do this, but just some random stencil-y things. So this, I'm pretty sure, is actually from high school, or maybe my daughter's high school. I don't know. This stencil is from Archer and Olive, and sometimes I use the little star for my star ratings. I don't know where this came from. I think some of these big ones came from my mother-in-law's house. She did a lot of quilting and fabric work, so I think these big ones came from her. I may not use them all. I may not need them all. But for now, I just thought it was kind of useful. I love this one. I don't know what to do with it yet, but it's pretty cool. And then this one, I bought years and years ago when I was starting bullet journaling because I wanted hexagons to do bee spreads. Big surprise. So these are just where I kind of keep those things. They don't really fit anywhere else very well. Like I said, I don't use them too often, so if I forget they're here, it's not the end of the world, and they're not really in my way at all. Okay, I'll have to fix that later. So the other things that I keep in this drawer, I have some ink pads from, I think these are, well, the case I think I got at Michael's, but I don't know if they have it anymore. I feel like I got it on clearance. And these say Stamp Abilities, but I don't know where these came from, to be honest with you. I think they might have been Michael's too. And they're just little small ink pads. They fit really nicely in here, so I just put them in here. I also have the cards from the Archer and Olive self-care kit that they had out a while back. I love the backs of these. I am way behind on my self-care journal. That might be something I try to touch into today or this week later. But I keep the cards in here. You can see I'm not the most patient person. So those are in there. I also have my little pad here. This is for like if I'm using these little brushes for inking. And then once I'm done, I just run it under the water and I rub it over this and it gets it really clean. The suction thingy doesn't really work well. I feel like this came with this set of 3 brushes. There's like this one, a medium, and a gigantic one. So that stays in there also. And then these are just 2 Archer and Olive inks I have. This one came with the self-care kit. And this one, I think, just came with an ink stamp set I bought when they were still like part of the same set. Now I think you buy them separately, the ink from the stamp pads. But this one still came with a kit. And this I know came in the self-care box. It still has that same whatever design on there. The other thing I have in here that I didn't realize was in here is just this little card. Archer and Olive does a lot of free printables if you search on their site. And this was one, and I just spent some time coloring it upstairs while I watched the show with my husband. I used a gold gel pen to give it that gold look. And I am planning to trim this down and use it in my self-care journal, so that's why it's in here. The last thing that's in here is the smaller pouch. What I put in there, I have more little ink pads. I only have a few of the Distress ink ones. These came with a craft my 3rd grade team did with our 3rd graders. They're not great quality. I don't recommend them. Actually, it looks like this one, the lid popped off. That's lovely. So I'll have to find that later too. Look at all the fun I'm having today, guys. I throw some Q-tips in there. Sometimes a Q-tip does the job I need it to for the inking, but these are just all like the smaller inks. Oh, I lied. And this big teal one that I got for my self-care journal, but it's a little too light, so I'll probably use it for something else. But I was just trying to figure some things out, and this poor little purple guy, if it's not dried out, I have to find the lid. And the last thing I keep in this journal in the bigger pouch are the actual stamps. So I keep this gold stamp pad in there, mostly because the other, or ink pad, sorry, the other pouch is a little too small. It starts getting too full. But the acrylic blocks are in here. And then I don't want to pull it all out, but if you look inside, you can see I just sort of stack those stamps in there. And it just works really well. I have a couple of wooden ones down the side there, if you can see. But this has worked out pretty well for me. This is a larger wooden pad, but it's kind of like a puzzle to get it all in there. So I probably won't be ordering too many new stamps anytime soon, but this works out really well for me. And so everything just kind of goes back in the drawer and fits really well. All right, so I'm going to do this little bit by little bit so that it won't be too jiggly since I won't have to hold the phone. Up here is where I keep our Cricut vinyl, and there's a bunch of it in there. Our Cricut mats are stored in the back, and all I did is I put the colors I liked in the front so that when it's tucked up on the shelf, those are the colors that you see, the ones that go with my color theme or scheme or whatever you call it. This is a hot mess that needs to be cleaned out. This is what we used to store our acrylic paints in for when my daughter and stepdaughter like to use acrylic paint. I've since relocated that, so this is something that needs to be reworked and rethought. This right now is just an empty basket that fits really well right there but has nothing in it. And then over here, this is where I keep my large cutting paper cutter. And then I have, ooh, I just saw something I didn't know I had. I have a couple of cutting mats back here. And apparently I also have a Cricut light board, which I did not know I had. So the Cricut, technically, right here, this is actually my stepdaughter's Cricut. Not sure if she's gonna take it with her or not to her mom's house, so it may end up staying here, it may not. I do use it from time to time, but not as much as she might use it. So that kind of lives right here and luckily is my favorite color. Over here, I will have to take this down. So sometimes I put little fake plants. We just got rid of our cat. That didn't sound right. It's my daughter's cat, and she just moved into an apartment, and she took the cat with her. So we are now catless, but for the longest time, I was only ever to buy fake plants because he would eat every real plant. And also being down in the basement, there's not a lot of natural light down here, and so this is just a easy way, inexpensive way to add a little greenery without worrying about keeping something alive. I'm also a plant killer, so there's that. My older daughter made a little Tiffany box for me out of her 3D pen years ago because I love Tiffany's and I just love it. So I've kept this for a long time. And this actually came from the Lego Dimensions video game, but it was my favorite part of the game, and so I kept it, just a tiny little Polaroid camera, super cute. And those things sit on top of this box, which is a mess on the top, because if you have kids, they will use anything to create with and make stuff with. And I actually need to go through this. I don't want to tip it too much, but this is just full of stamps and ink pads. My stepdaughter had accumulated over the years, so these are her things. And it's probably time for me to go through these and see what works and what doesn't, and which stamps are worth keeping and which ones are not. So that is what goes on the first few shelves. These two shelves are my favorite because these two shelves are all mine. So I'm going to start over here and kind of work my way across both of them. So up here I have my journals. Some are done, some I'm in the process of using, and some are waiting their turn to be used. Let's see. So this is my current reading journal. If you've seen any of those videos, you're probably a little familiar with this one. This is the reading journal that I will be using for next year's reading journal. So this one is just sitting here patiently waiting for 2026 to start. Well, I guess actually like November, because I gotta like get things ready so I'm ready to go in January. This, I don't know what I want to do with, but I'm absolutely in love with it. This is from the Beekeeper Garden subscription box from Archer and Olive. It's their A5 journal, but you can tell it has lavender pages. I just have not decided yet if this is going to be an everyday journal in the future or not for me. I'm just not sure. It very well could be. And then I would just commit to purple pages for 4 months or whatever it would take me, but I adore it so much. The spine is beautiful. This is my bee journal. And this one is full and finished, so it just hangs out there. This journal, okay, so my students know I like to journal, and every so often at the book fair, when we go and make our wish lists, I will pick up something, and I just sort of open it and look at it. And it seems there's always a student that notices, and then buys the journal for me. So I ended up with this journal. It's not bad. It's really pretty. It's not really good for all the gluing and stickers and all that. It's not really built to like hold that thickness of stuff, but it is a good journal and it is beautiful. So it just kind of sits here for now. This one I just got from the Archer and Olive fall release. This will be my next everyday journal. Well, I'll show you in a minute. This one is one that my best friend got me for Christmas last year, and it is from Rifle Paper Company also, so where those pouches came from with the stamps and the ink pads I showed you. This one is also very beautiful. I see this possibly as a church journal in the future. Every page has florals at the top, which is beautiful, but again, not something I would use for my everyday planning because I would want to cover those every time. So this is more like a prayer journal, church journal, that kind of thing where I just do writing. And it came with this beautiful pen. There's even a pocket in the back. It's really a beautiful journal. Thank you, Sana. The next journal is my self-care journal from Archer and Olive. This is the one I'm a little bit behind in, but I need to jump in and work on it. Nothing on the spine, but it is such a beautiful deep teal color, and it has these beautiful like water plants going up the side of it. And this was something my mom gifted me. She gifted me the self-care box where this came from, and those little cards and some other things. This is the pink storybook notebook, and this is the one I'm about to move into. I am on the last pages of my current journal. This is the one I'm about to move into next. And so when this one is finished, I'll be moving into that bookshelf journal. So I try to always have one ready to go. It took me 5 months to fill the B one, 4 months to fill the last one. So maybe 3 months for this one, maybe 5 months. But I like to have one waiting that, like I said, isn't seasonal or isn't season themed, because that's just not me to do that. After that, oh, I forgot about this one. I have this one. I'd ended up with a notebook, I can't remember how, that I didn't want. And so in the Archer and Olive trade, buy, sell, trade, something on Facebook, some group, another lady wanted that one and she traded this one for me. It's black with a gold moon on the front. I don't know what I want to do with this one yet. I think it's beautiful, but it's not very me. And so part of me has been toying with the idea of creating a journal with windows and Dutch doors and decorated pages and doing a giveaway with this notebook fully decorated and ready for someone to just jump into. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. I don't know yet. I just don't know that my style is enough people's style that people would actually want that. But I love the creative part of things. And so I don't want to just give away a blank notebook. I'd love to give it away and have had some fun creating in it as well. So let me know what you think in the comments. I have this traveler's notebook, which I absolutely love. I got this on the Archer and Olive Trade Facebook page. It's got that beautiful butterflies and florals on the inside. I knew I loved this. I would not have bought the whole subscription box just for this notebook, but again, I had something somebody else wanted and we made a swap, and I love this. I haven't quite figured out what I want to do with it yet, but no regrets with this one. And the last one that I have is this one that came in that beekeeper garden, the same one as the notebook with the lavender pages. And this one I use as my swatch journal. So this one is completely used all the way through with all my washi, stamps, inks, markers, pens, all the things are all swatched in here. And this is the B6 size, and I love this because I tuck it in my purse if I go to Michael's or Hobby Lobby to make sure I don't buy a marker I already own or too many pinks if I already have enough pinks in here. So something like that, but it helps me to keep track of what I already have and own. And so, pardon me, this is where I house my journals. Not sure what I'm going to do when I acquire more because I am using what I have, but obviously the more I use them, the more I need, the more I get, and so on. So this may have to get rethought later. This is where I store all of my washi tape, and I organize my washi by color. So red, orange, yellow, and so on all the way through. I really don't usually have more washi than fits in these drawers. I will show you an exception in a moment, but this is where I store those washi. I have some little washi pictures, like photo card things too, that I got on Amazon, and I just tuck those in there with the washi tape because they're the same like consistency and like I guess thinness. But that is what I have my washi in. And this little container up here at the top, this is where all of the go-to items are. So I'll pull these out in a minute and show you what I keep in this little container. But this, when I'm journaling, is always on my desk. If I take my journaling stuff upstairs to journal while I watch TV with my husband, this goes with me and I have everything I need. Actually, I'll just show you real quick. So, ooh, that was funny. Okay, I'm back. So I keep this little fishy eraser. It is getting worn down though, so I think just a white gum eraser is gonna have to do soon. I keep microns in here. I use these for outlining a lot. I keep a Sharpie, a fine tip Sharpie. Sometimes the stickers I have are not high quality and you can't really write on them well, so you need a Sharpie for that. This needs to be sharpened. Actually, so does my pencil. This is like an eraser, but in a pencil form. I always keep a pencil, and this one has no eraser, which is why I need the other eraser. Glue stick. I keep scissors in here, as well as an X-Acto knife or a craft knife. The cover is disgusting because probably one of my daughters used it and didn't take care of it. That's okay. It still works. I have a swivel cut craft knife here. And this is the one, sometimes if you see me rubbing stickers, the clear stickers, I use the bottom of this thing because it's rubbery. It is wearing off though, so I'm not sure how well that's going to work. And I haven't gotten good at using the knife part yet either. I have a little double pack of tweezers that I got on Amazon. Let's see. Whatever markers I'm using for my current monthly calendar, I keep handy so I don't have to keep looking for them. I keep a few gel pens in, I keep a gold, a silver, and a white always in here because those are the colors I reach for the most. Oops. there goes another micron, but I'm not going to go get that one. And a black Papermate flare. This is my primary writing tool in my journal. Oh my goodness, guys, I can't hold anything. All that's really left in here, I have some of the extra knives for the X-Actos or the craft knives, some paper clips, a hair tie, and I keep a gift card to tear washi with in there. And this one says Florida. I think my mom got that for me a long time ago and I've kept it. I have an Archer and Olive ruler here. I love a clear ruler, and this works really well for drawing lines. I've actually even used the scalloped edge before. And then finally, just a small blue ruler. I think I got at Hobby Lobby, but this one helps keep all of that stuff straight and organized. So these things are just my go-to tools, the things that I use all the time. Anything else, like if I'm inking or stamping or any of that, that just gets pulled out from wherever it is and returned wherever it goes. But these things are the things that stay here all the time. Next, I've got my marker storage. So up top, I keep my Stabilo Boss highlighters. They don't really fit in anything, and they're kind of this weird shape. So I store them backwards so that I can see the color of them a little easier. I keep my Sharpie S Notes in these two at the top, along with, I'm gonna see if I can find one, the Sharpie highlighters. These I got in a different pack, but they had some other colors with them, and they don't all read like a highlighter like you would use for school or work. So I keep those in there. My mild liners are here, but I think there's more colors, so I need to look into that. Down here, I keep these, what are these? These are those Pilot Friction erasable pens. I'm not a huge fan of these. I was using them for my church notes, but they're really lightly colored. Sometimes they're the exact color for something small to shade in, and I have used them in my coloring books. Down here, I have a few Archer and Olive, I think these are calligraphs. Oh my word, guys, what is wrong with me? I think they're calligraphs. These are from the Beekeeper Garden Kit too. They're the only ones I have from Archer and Olive, so I'll be honest, I'm not really sure which pens they are because I'm not that proficient in that yet. Over here, I have another experiment. These are Bic Intensity fine liners. Another one that writes a little lighter than I would like, but they are super fine tip. And I've also got these, what are these? These are Pilot Precise V5 pens. I definitely use these at church a lot. These are awesome. Then I've got Papermate flares in lots of different colors. These down here are my Crayola Super Tips. And at the bottom are my Tombow markers. And I really try hard not to buy more Tombow markers than would fit in this section. I'll show you an exception in just a moment, but I try to only buy what fits in here. On this bottom shelf, I have a 3-ring binder, and this is where I keep a lot of the ephemera that I print off Etsy. So if you follow my reading journal videos, you know that my January theme was peacock. So I keep the rest of that ephemera in here. I printed a lot of koi pond ephemera when I was doing the Asian theme. I think it was May in my reading journal. This was a thought I had for my reading journal, and I printed them all up and decided no, I couldn't commit to that for a whole month, but I kept them because they're kind of funny, so I might use them eventually. And there's some owls and some other things, but basically this houses the ephemera kits that I've printed off. And what I'll most likely do, since it's such a skinny binder, is at some point I will just make the decision that I'm probably not going to do anything else peacock, or I'll make one peacock spread in my everyday journal, use up what I have and be done with it, because that's a lot of peacocks. And that will make space for some other ephemera. These magazine boxes I got years and years and years ago. So, I think at Target, but these are super duper old. I think it doesn't say, but I think it's Target. And inside here, I'll just turn it this way. I have some of my old happy planners, which I'm happy to do flip throughs of those. If you're curious, leave a message in the comments. These are years old, like years and years old. But I've kept them because I worked hard on them and I'm proud of what I created. One of them I think was my budget planner from when I was a single mom. That was super useful. I can't show you that because that's my reading journal plans for next year. I've printed some ephemera for that. And then this is just, sometimes I print some ephemera and don't have time to like fully move it into the binder. And so that just kind of sits in here. I also have, oh, that's for my reading journal next year too. And then this was like a little, hold on. This, just kidding. This has to be entertaining though, right? This was my little, kind of like a prayer journal, praise journal, gratitude journal, just while I was going through my divorce and everything. And honestly, a lot of this is what inspired my current everyday journal. Just this idea of adding things here and there, filling in what you can, not being afraid if this goes over this day and that day, and kind of changed my whole thinking about the way that I journaled was this little guy here. All right, in this magazine file here, we have my, this is another little journal that I got. I love it. It's super cute. It's got the snail, but honest to goodness, I don't like the company name on the spine. I don't know why, but that ruins it for me. Like, don't do that, companies. This is where I just kind of take notes of what needs to go in my reading journal. It probably sounds weird to write my reading journal stats in here and then move them into the reading journal. But because my workspace is down in the basement, I don't want to be down in the basement all day, every night by myself while my husband's upstairs watching something. So this is a great way for me to just bring this up, write down what I need to do upstairs and bring it down. And then I'm ready to go on my reading journal down here when I have some time. I keep scrap paper in here for when I glue things with my glue stick. There are extra stickers, like giant sticker sheets my friend gave me. And that's mostly it in here. Like, this is a theme I've already done. I might get rid of this. I might make it smaller. I might put it in the binder. I don't know. Apparently, I need to clean this out a little bit. Inside this box, well, first we have this cute little create thing my stepdaughter made that I absolutely love. So I keep that in here. And inside here, also just some more old journals. I think this was one I was starting to move into and I just didn't get too far. Again, I'm happy to flip through these. If you're interested, I can do a video of my old happy planner days. This is a church journal I finished. This is another church journal I finished. This is another church journal I finished. And then these, I do believe I did do a video on these already. These are my bullet journals that I did. This one is complete. This one is not complete. I did end up stopping bullet journaling. It was taking up a ton of time the way I was doing it. And it just wasn't conducive to the way I like to create. So this box just has some of those older, smaller journals in it. Then I have my color cube here. This is, oh my goodness, I'm blanking on her name, but if you've been on YouTube or Instagram, you've probably seen Sarah. I cannot think of her name. All I can think of is Sarah J. Moss, but she wrote Court of Thorns and Roses. She did not invent the color cube. Sarah Renee Clark, I think that's it. Anyway, it's really cool. My husband got this for me for Christmas, and really it's just a way to help you pick a color scheme. I use this for coloring more than anything, but I was doing this on Pinterest anyway. I was looking at Pinterest, looking for this exact thing, a photograph of something real with the colors below it. And I saw this and told him I would love this for Christmas, so he got it for me. And I do have a couple of coloring pages that I've done in my books that were based off of inspiration off of these cards. So if you're somebody who draws a blank sometimes or feel like you always reach for the same colors, this is an awesome tool. And another fake plant. And those are my shelves. And that brings us to these bins at the bottom, which should go a little bit quicker because these are also a hot mess. I got these bins at Walmart. I use them in my classroom too. They're not super strong, but they do the job. And that's really all I needed when I went to this method. So this bin is full of my younger daughter's craft things. She'll pull this out when she's looking for something particular, but I just kind of throw her stuff in there. This is where our acrylic paint is currently. It was getting to be kind of a pain for her to grab it from all the way on that top shelf, so I moved it all down here, and this has worked out a lot better. It's just kind of tossed in there, but it works. This drawer has, let's see, my mini hot glue gun, and this is just a box of cards, like birthday cards, baby shower cards and stuff that I pull out. A couple of Archer and Olive boxes. There's a tote bag in here. And then this is where I keep some of those large decals that I purchased at Dollar Tree. So there wasn't really anywhere else I could stick them, so I just kind of put them in here. They do bend a little bit in here, but it doesn't wrinkle them, I guess. It doesn't like create a crease, so it's not that bad. Down in this bin, this is kind of a miscellaneous bin, little kit that I use to bedazzle a book, a little empty pouch. This is such a cool notebook. Actually, I need to take this to school with me. So this notebook, you write with special pens and you can microwave it and it erases all of your writing. And my plan is to give a page to each student in my classroom and take notes on things, whether it's behavior or academic or conferences or whatever. And that way at the end of the year, I can pop it in the microwave, clear it out, and it'll be ready for the next year. So this I'm actually gonna keep out. Some old cross stitches I did that I don't know what to do with. I used to love cross stitching. Got some markers in here, lots of markers, lots of Mr. Sketch, another cross stitch, more markers, but I mean, hopefully you can see what I mean. This is kind of everybody's craft space down here. Yeah, these are the pens for that microwavable notebook. You have to use Pilot friction clickers. I think it's this specific pen that works. So I'm going to pull that out too, so I can get that ready for work. Let's see. And this bin, this is kind of more, ooh, I'm glad I have this because that fish eraser is almost done. So boom sauce. I have a white eraser ready. This is more office-y stuff. I've kept this. I used this at work in my classroom. I haven't used it in a while, but it's like, I don't know, I just love it, so I don't want to get rid of it yet. But stapler, extra glue sticks, bottles of glue. There's a tape dispenser. This is just kind of office-y type stuff in here. And the last bin, this is, so this is like Cricut supplies. My stepdaughter had always kept them in this little container here, so I just sort of hide it in here. There is a 3-hole punch in here. There is my Happy Planner punch, which I use for my coloring books so that I can put them on discs. And that is pretty much everything on my bookshelves. The last thing that I want to show you in my craft area is my little rolling cart. In the back here, this was also part of the Archer and Olive Beekeeper Garden Kit. It's this really cool clipboard with a legal pad and a pocket on the inside. Haven't needed to use this yet, but I do have a feeling that the next time I travel, whether it's in a car or on a plane, this would be super useful to bring with me. Make sure I get that in there. I've got some sticker books back here. So there's that Wrong Rainbow. I use this one a lot. The one I showed in a different video, this was one I got on Amazon. It's kind of fall colored. I also have some things that I've gotten from my classroom just for fun. So these are some Squishmallow stickers. I just clip them together. Some Hello Kitty stickers. This is an Archer and Olive, what do they call these things? I guess a kit club, maybe that's it. I got this one with like scrapbooking supplies, journaling supplies, and it comes in this cute little pouch. I eventually might get a little binder if I end up getting more of these, but I haven't seen any that I really wanted, except this other one that's cherry blossoms. And so these are just the pieces I didn't use. I have used both kits, I just haven't used them all up. These are bee stickers that came in that same bee subscription box from Archer and Olive. I keep scraps of paper that I cut out of my journals in case I need them in order to fix a mistake or create something else. And so I keep those clipped back there. This is from when I got Sunrise on the Reaping. I'm a huge Hunger Games fan. And I just leave myself a sticky note. Hey, don't forget you have matching stickers, Susie. So that way when I pull this out, if I want to use it, I can say, oh yeah, I have stickers too. And so these are just some little randomy things that I tuck back here. I also have some other things I've gotten at Dollar Tree back here, and this sticker set that I got for Christmas on Amazon. I have my Agenda 52 sticker books tucked in here from Hobby Lobby, and they get stuck because of that little elastic band, and they kind of drive me bananas, but they look pretty once I get them in there. I have these little sticker books also from Hobby Lobby, if I can grab one. These are from Paper Studio Stickabilities, just really small sticker books. These are absolutely phenomenal if you, let's say you're going out of town for a weekend and you just know you're going to want a journal. Grab one of these and you can seriously do a journal spread with any one of these. I've done it before. Sometimes when I go upstairs to watch TV with my husband, I just pick one I haven't used in a while and I just only use that sticker book to create a spread in my journal. Then down here, I've got the recollection sticker books. These I get at Michael's. If you've watched my videos at all, you know I love this insect one a lot. And I've pulled stuff out of here. This one is also very similar to that, where just grabbing this, there's so much in here that's coordinated that you could seriously pack this and your journal and a pen into your suitcase, and you could create 3 or 4 spreads just with one of these books. They have lots of different styles in them, so it doesn't feel like you're creating too much with the same style. This one I haven't used yet. I really had plans for this, but they ended up being shorter than I anticipated. This was an Amazon purchase. I'm sure the measurements were on there. I just missed it. I just haven't decided what I want to do, but I love it. It's got all these little houses, clouds, and there's like cars and things, and I love it. Just haven't quite felt the vibe yet. I think this one came from Joann's, RIP, and just another little tiny sticker pack. In this book, I got these 2 containers. It was a 2-pack on Amazon. This one just houses random stickers. So just like my friend Amanda gave me those. I haven't used them yet. A bunch of book stickers that I got on Amazon. These came from Michael's, I think. And so really just any kind of random sticker that doesn't have a book house of its own, I store in here. And in the other one, I store alphabet stickers. So I don't have as many of those, but same thing. I just use this as a place to kind of hold those. I don't use them as much either, but when I do want something a little different, or just something like, a lot of times I'll use to do as a sticker. So I'm missing a lot of T's and O's. These are like Hello Kitty stickers that coordinate with the other ones. So it's just another way to keep organized. I have this little cup here of extra pens, extra microns, Papermate flares. There's an extra white gel pen, gold gel pen. This is my Canon IV printer. I bought this little case for it on Amazon, and it just tucks in there with the charging cord. I do need to order more sticker paper for it, so I usually have that back here, but that's nice and in one spot for when I want to add photos or design my own, not design, but like print my own stickers for my journal. Back here are all my Happy Planner sticker books. So I store all of those on here, and they do the same elastic problem. This is another one of those things. When this is full, I probably won't get any more Happy Planner stickers until I use a book up. Right now, I still have room, haha. So if there's a sale, or if there's a book that I really see myself being able to use for lots of multiple spreads, I might buy that for myself. But like I said, once this is full, I'm not likely to buy more because I don't like that feeling of where am I going to put things. In front of that, one of my students, I love sticky notes. I don't have a lot of sticky notes, but in my classroom, I use them for everything, and my students know that. And so last year, one of my students got me this off Amazon and told me that because I love sticky notes, I had to have this. And so I use this when I'm planning out some of my journal spreads. I just write little notes to myself, stick it in my journal, especially for future things coming up. And it's been really good to help me stay organized. This is just a pen holder thingy. It has a little bee on the bottom. This came with the Archer and Olive Bee box. I haven't used it yet. I have one I use on my church journal that I love because it has like a little zippered pouch. Not sure where I'm going to use this yet, although I just had a thought. This was still under my desk where I threw it, and if this reaches on here, well then, that might live here with those special pens that have to be used in this notebook so they can be microwaved away later on. So this you guys may have just helped me find a solution for this, but I'm gonna leave it here for now. And then this is just a cute little notebook another student gave me. They found out I like they knew I liked national parks, and apparently he insisted to his mom that I had to have this tiny notebook. And so little by little, I've just been kind of drawing little pictures of the national parks that I've been to and, you know, putting them in there. I'm happy to do a flip through of this in a video if you're curious in the future. But it's been a lot of fun to bring my markers upstairs and just doodle while my husband and I watch a movie. My middle shelf on my craft cart, I'm going to work from the back to the front. I keep a piece of cardboard in the back. My cutting mats are a little thicker, and sometimes if I'm working on something, I don't want the page to be bumped up too much, and so this works as a cutting mat for those things. I have my mini paper trimmer. This is from Creative Memories years ago. It's probably time for a new one. I think the blade's not doing so good anymore on this, but I'm kind of stubborn, so I probably won't use it until it breaks, or get a new one until it breaks. This one, this is like a little paper pad, Paper Studio, that's Hobby Lobby, and it's got different maps in it. So here's a little travel recollection sticker book. So Michael's, Hobby Lobby, but I'm gonna make them work together. So all I need to do is go on a trip, and then these are ready for me to do something with. All right. Back here is the only exception I have to the more Tombos than fit on my shelf. As I was swatching out all my markers, I realized I think I only had like 3 gray shades total. And with gray being such a neutral color and being so perfect for things like drop shadows, I just decided when I saw Tombow markers go on sale at Michael's, I thought it was a good investment to just go ahead and get a package of different gray markers. So this was something where I kind of broke my own rule. I'm debating breaking it one more time for the same thing with brown shades. I do have a bunch of brown shades I want to take a look through and see where I'm at with those now that I've created the swatch journal. But I feel like grays and browns are those things that I will use all the time. And so it doesn't seem too extravagant to have extras of those colors. I've got some origami paper back here. I do share this with my daughters. My older daughter likes to do origami very rarely, but I know she's whipped it out for school projects from time to time. This is great for a journal where you're gluing things and it's getting bulky because it's so much thinner than scrapbook paper. I have, let's see. Oh, I have this pack of origami paper, and this one's a lot thinner than it was when I got it because I tore out a bunch of pages to send to my mom so she could use them, but it's got all these beautiful prints. I have this holographic book I got from, well, it's not just well, I guess it is all holographic. This is from Michael's. I think I found in a thrift store. So it's Paper Studio. I don't know if it still exists at Hobby Lobby, but I think I found this for $1 at a thrift store. And it's just a lot of tropical, floral, just some fun prints. These are pretty old. This is Paper Studio. This is pretty old though. This would probably be Hobby Lobby. And this one was my stepdaughter's, but she said I could have it. Scrapbook pages, that one is really pretty. It's like little birds. I don't know if you can see that. Little birds with gold things on it, music notes. She's like an exceptional violin player. I might have to do a page like dedicated to her with paper she gave me. That would be really cool. And then I have this little thing, and it's just full of smaller paper scraps that I've used over time. Sometimes if I just need a little bit of green or a color, I'll just look here first to just use it up. In front of that, I have these little, they're kind of like photo stickers. They're just these little books, but they're stickers. Moving on, over here, I have this washi tape roll, just some solid colors that came from one of those craft stores. And then these two little buckets, they're just acrylic containers. I truly don't know where these came from. They look like something you could get at Target or really anywhere. They have these like wooden lids. And this one I just keep extra supplies. So there's tape, there's whiteout, there's a little soft-sided measuring tape, of course, with a B on it. Some extra paper clips. I think there's a USB, one of these clippy thingies so that I can keep my pages held open. So this one's kind of more like, I don't even know the word, like supplies. This one, I'll put it right here. This one holds like stickers. I've got some giant sticky note pads, which I might also use as a background on a neon page eventually. These are, oh, I have an idea for these soon, actually. These are just quotes, a baggie full of quotes, Bible verses, just little things that I found on Amazon. And then down below, these are more like, oh, what do you call it? Like water bottle sticker type things that I've just kind of collected over time. So that's what goes in those little containers. Over here, I've got this little page of papers that I got at Dollar Tree. And this is from the recent Archer and Olive fall release. It's just some fall scrapbook papers. What else? Mostly in here, it's going to be like little die cut type things or little things that I've collected that I can use in my journals. These are gold holographic things I got for my self-care journal, some gold feathers. Those are both Dollar Tree, I think. These are little pencils I used in my classroom, but I didn't need the extras, but those could be used for something in a spread. Some stickers. These are a little thick. I don't like using these, but they're kind of nice label stickers. I think those were Hobby Lobby. Some little die cuts here. What else? Some little holographic jellyfish a student gave me that I have a plan for. So Sophia, I know you watch sometimes. I did not forget them. I have a plan. And what else? Down here, this is like a little booklet. These are all vellum. These are two little books that my husband got me for Christmas. And these two are also from Amazon. I'll just open one of them. I kind of like the green one better, just because it's more my vibe. And it was full of stickers. The stickers, both, you got two of each kind of sticker. They came on clear, but they also came on paper. They also came with these papers. And if you've been watching any of my videos, I've used these a lot. And then I have two boxes of these. These are just little tiny, little, I don't even know, like kind of like label stickers. And the last things on this shelf are just really kind of silly. This one's a tiny, tiny old Happy Planner product. And I just used to use it for scraps when I was bullet journaling, to try out colors and stuff. So this is pretty old. There's some pages left in it, but this is good to tuck in your purse or something. And then my stepdaughter actually made this book, and I started using it to practice my lettering and just doing different fonts. And honestly, that's the only one I ever did. I just did not get time to keep going. I think I accidentally just tore a page out, but I just, gosh, she made that, guys. Like, it's like a legit sewn book. It's amazing. She's amazing. And on my last shelf, I just have the last few things that I use when I'm journaling. So in the back of this cart, I keep my Crayola watercolors. Once in a while, I watercolor in my journal. I keep it cheap, nothing fancy. Crayola works just fine. I also have the two OG Jellyfish Journals. This one was given to me by a friend, and this one I purchased myself. it's pretty much the same style that I use now in my Arch and Olives. It's just these, because they're spiral bound, were a little trickier to use, and the company did not have any other jellyfish journals. In this bottom bin is where I keep my punches. Mostly I just use the corner rounder. It's a Creative Memories one, which probably means the blade is dulling and I need to get a new one. And in this container is where I hold my PET tape. So I have some die cuts, also die cut stickers. These are Easter, so it's going to be a while till I need them. These I use in my self-care journal normally. But I keep my PET tape in this little bin. That washi I told you about that didn't fit in the drawers yet, that's where that went. These are new from the Arch and Olive fall line. And once I get a chance to kind of play with my washi tape drawers, I'll either use up some washi tape or get rid of some I don't use to make space. I don't like having too much. And I also have these little library cards with dictionary words on them. This jar, I have solid color washi. So everything in the drawers up there is all patterned washi. I keep the solid washi separate because I feel like you could use the same color solid washi over and over and over in your notebook and you would never even notice. Whereas if I used the same bumblebee washi over and over and over in my journal, I think it would be obvious that it was getting used a lot. So because these are going to tend to get used up faster and go with more spreads, I keep those separate. And the last thing in my cart belonged to my younger daughter. She's got a jar of pom-poms and a jar of tiny colorful seashells. And that's it. And there you have it. That's my craft space. I want to thank you for watching and sticking with this. I have not edited it yet. I have no idea how long this is going to be. So if you've hung into the end, good job. Let me know down in the comments below if there are any things that I talked about that you would like to hear more about. If I mentioned any video content that you would like to see in the future. If you have any questions, leave those down in the comments below. Or if you have any ideas about ways that I could store some of these things more efficiently, please let me know that as well. If you liked this content, consider subscribing. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you felt it earned a thumbs up, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.